Hi, welcome to your first yoga recording. Hopefully this works and we don't have to do it more than once, otherwise we're going to end up really achy. But just a reminder to everyone to do what you can and do what feels good, and if something doesn't feel good, please don't do it, or anytime you want to take a break. You can now pause the video, but don't cheat. Wilf, I'm talking to you. You can pause the video and come back to it at any point that you want to. Happy yogaing. I've got my lovely assistant here with me today who will hopefully show you some of the less hard versions. Let's go. Happy? Good to go? So, starting the same way we always do, with our feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart, making sure you haven't got one foot in front of the other, making sure that you sit backwards and your knees don't come forwards in front of your toes. When you're ready, bring your hands in line with your chest, and then we're going to come down into squat position. Breathe in through your nose and up and out through your mouth. Good. 4 more. And again. Two more. And last one. Hello, Dylan. Good. Bringing your hands in line with your chest. If you want to, you can step off your mat if it gives you a little bit of extra stability, or you can stay on your mat. Just be careful not to kick anything behind you. When you're ready, balance on your left leg to begin with as you take your right foot off behind you. What's the matter, Dylan? You want to come say hi? You want to come say hi? Come say hi to the people quickly. Now you can either bring your foot down onto the floor if that's starting to feel a little bit difficult, or if you feel more stable and you want to, bring your right hand to your right foot. Not sure if you can see the dog. Pull your tummy muscles in tight. Good. And try to bring your knees together. Go and lay down. Go lay down. Good boy. Good. And if you want to extend that stretch even further, take your left hand out straight in front of you. Lean forwards, and as you do so, try to bring that foot further up. Don't make me laugh. Back in centre without dropping your foot down if you can help it. Bring your arms up in line with your shoulders, and you can either drop that foot back down onto the floor, or if you feel stable enough and you want to, lift your right foot off, engage your core. Good, as you lean forwards. Hey!
We'll do the easy one.
Squeeze your right bum muscles, squeeze that glute. And then And if you can, without dropping your foot down, slowly take your hands down and onto the floor in front of you. Now you can either keep that foot off or drop your toes down if you want to, as you lift your left arm up towards the ceiling. Good. Now if you can, try to look up towards the ceiling as well. But if you need to, keep your head looking down towards the floor. You can't take your foot off.
I thought I was doing the easy ones.
Down, and then if you can, try and keep that back foot off as you slowly stand yourselves back up. And bring both feet down. Give your feet a little bit of a shake off. Okay? And then if you can, bring your hands in line with your chest and lift your right foot now off the floor. If you need to, you can always bring your heel back down and onto the floor, so you should feel a little bit of engagement on your quad muscle at the front. If you're feeling stable and you want to try it, bring your hand onto the inside of your right foot and lift and extend. Wow, I'm amazed that you can do that.
I cannot gloat and do it at the same time.
Good. And then slowly bring your foot back down. Okay. We're not going to swap onto the other side straight away. What we're going to do instead is take a little bit of a pause in the middle. Take your feet slightly wider than shoulder width apart again. Bring your hands in line with your chest. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, unlock your hips, sit backwards, come all the way down as low as you feel like you can. Rest your elbows onto the insides of your knees, head up and forwards. If you need to be up a little bit higher, you can stand up a little bit higher, so don't feel like you have to come all the way down. We're going to hold it there. 60 seconds. Seconds to go. Five. Good. And then slowly stand yourselves back up with your feet where they are. Slowly come up onto your toes. Good, and then if you can, take your hands up and above your head. Good, so really good for those supporting ligaments and tendons and working on strengthening your calves at the bottom of the backs of your legs. If you want to make it more difficult for yourselves, try to close your eyes and not hold on to the ceiling. I can see you. Good, and then slowly come back down onto your heels. Bring your hands down to your, sorry, my lunch. Bring your hands down to your chest, feet roughly underneath your hips, and we're going to swap onto the other side, so balancing on the right leg this time. Remember, if you need to at any point, you can always drop your left toes down and onto the mat. If you feel stable enough and you want to try it, try to bring your left hand to your left foot. Sit, engage your core as you try to bring your knees together. Good, and then if you want to extend that further, take your right hand out straight in front of you. Slowly stand yourselves back up in centre without dropping your foot down if you can help it. Bring your hands in line with your shoulders. Good. Lean forwards and extend your leg out straight behind you. Remember, if you need to at any point, just drop down onto your toes. And then if you can from there, without dropping your foot down, slowly bring your hands down and onto the floor. Remember, if you need to, you can always drop that back foot down. As you lift your right arm up towards the ceiling, you can look up towards the ceiling if you can, or keep your head looking down towards the floor if that feels more stable. Good, and then slowly bring both hands down, and if you can, I want you to try to stand yourselves up, ouch, without bringing your foot down. Yeah, that hurts.
Video check.
Yeah? Sorry, just quick video check to make sure that you're still going, which you are. So when you're ready, bring your hands in line with your chest, and then we're going to lift our left leg out straight in front of us and engaging quad muscle. If you need to, bring your heel down and onto the floor. If you feel a little bit more flexible and you want to try it, bring your left hand onto the inside of your left foot and then lift and extend. Good, slowly bringing both feet down and onto the floor. Ready? So, he said no. So turn yourselves on your mat, or if you haven't got a mat, it doesn't matter, you can probably do exactly the same on the carpet, just make sure you don't slip. And then bring your feet again so they're roughly underneath your hips. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly bring your hands down towards the floor or mat. Good. Doesn't matter if you can't quite reach the floor, just go as far down as you feel like you can. You should feel that stretching out through the backs of your legs and into your back. And then drop your head down if it isn't already into a neutral position. And then when you're ready, slowly walk your hands forwards. Bring yourselves into downward dog, so keep your head dropped down. And if you can, I want you to try and bring your body weight backwards, so try to bring your heels down or towards the floor. And slowly bring your head up and forwards. Walk your hands further forwards. Bring them roughly underneath your shoulders. We're going to come into high plank position. Head up and forwards, core engaged. 30 seconds starting now. Don't forget to breathe. Don't hold your breath. Drop down onto your knees if you need to. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and then if you can, from there, slowly drop straight down into low plank. So we're going to do 30 seconds on your forearms. That's it. Nice straight line, head up and forwards, don't forget to breathe. Should feel this work in your core, but if it's too aggressive on your lower back, just drop down onto your knees, it works exactly the same. Seconds. Slowly relax down and lay flat into the floor mat. You're right there. Then when you're ready, bring your hands round so they're either side of your chest. Be very gentle on your back as you slowly push into the floor and lift your head up and forward. Remember, if at any point you need to, if it feels too aggressive, you can drop down onto your forearms and it still works exactly the same. And then slowly lower yourselves down again. Relax flat forwards into the mat. Then when you're ready, take your hands up straight in front of you. So you're still on the floor, but hands up straight in front of you. Your legs should be already out straight behind you. If you can, I want you to lift your upper body as much as you can off from the mat. So head, chest, arms. And then try to pair that with your legs as well. Hold it there. So really good for strengthening your back. If you need to at any stage, you can always drop your feet down onto the mat. 30 seconds. Don't forget to breathe. Good, and then slowly lower yourselves back down. Good. And when you're ready, bring your hands either side of your chest, but slightly wider this time. And I want you to try to push yourselves off from the floor. Remember, keep your core engaged. You can always shuffle your knees in towards your body if you need to give yourself a little bit of extra help. So lift your hips off from the floor. If not, when you're ready, slowly push yourselves off. Good, and then I want you to bring your hands so they're roughly underneath your shoulders again. Gosh, you look more wrinkly from this angle. And then slowly bend your arms. Good. Tuck your elbows in towards your body, so you should feel that working your triceps on the backs of your arms. If you need to, you can always drop down onto your knees. What? So 60 seconds starting. No, I'm joking. I was trying to freak him out, but he had a good poker face. 30 seconds. Well, you've got to stay where you are, otherwise they're all going to stop. Bend your arms a little bit more. That's it, perfect. Now he's working. 10 seconds. Good, and then if you can, drop your body weight backwards, separate your knees and feet a little bit more on the mat if it feels more comfortable to you. Stretch your arms out straight in front of you. And drop your head down, so into child's pose, nice and relaxed. And then slowly bringing your head back up and forward, slowly come back up and onto all fours. And we're going to stretch out through our quads now. So be very gentle on your hips, on your knees, on your ankle joints, as you take your feet as wide as you feel like you can on the mat, and then try to bring your bum down. Try to bring your bum down on the floor in between your feet. Now, if that feels like it might be a bit of a big ask, you can support yourselves at the front, at the side, at the back, wherever you feel like you get the best stretch, and just go as low as you can with it. But if you're feeling quite flexible and you want to try it, slowly lower yourselves backwards. You might even be able to come all the way down to lay flat into the mat. And then when you're ready, slowly bring yourselves back up, and then hopefully you can just take your feet out from underneath. Okay? Good. So we're going to do another core exercise today. Quite focused on core today. There's going to be lots of different variations to this. So if you can, I want you to try to come up into a V-sit hold with your legs out straight and your hands above your head. That might feel a little bit too aggressive on your lower back, so you can either come down onto your hands or down onto your forearms and try to take your legs as straight as you can. Make sure your legs are down to a point where you feel tension on your tummy. If, however, that still feels like it might be too much on your lower back, you can bend your knees as well, and that might take some of the pressure off for you. So when you're ready, 3, 2, 1, 30 seconds. Can you straighten your legs? Or yeah? Look at the shakes, he's got the shakes going on. You did really well. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, don't make me laugh. 1, and then slowly sit yourselves back up again. Well, we've got 15 minutes, so if you can from there, slowly lower yourselves back down into the floor or mat. Are you okay there? So I want you to try and do that without using your hands if you can, so slowly lower yourselves down and lay flat. And then we're going to do a nice stretch on our back and hips. Bring your feet in towards your body and then try to grab hold of the top insides of your feet. And then keep your back flat into the mat as you try to push as much pressure as you can down into your feet. Now some of you might not be able to reach the bottom of your feet, so if you want to, you can grab hold of around your ankles, or if it feels more comfortable for you and you don't want to lay flat onto the mat, you can always come up, bring the bottom of your feet together and stretch out your adductors like this. So try to keep as much of your bum down onto the floor as you can. And then slowly relax, control, and bring your feet back down onto the floor or the mat. So we're going to go for a full body exercise now. I'll work from harder to less hard. If you can, feet nice and firm onto the mat, hands up behind your shoulders, and I want you to push into the mat and lift yourselves up as much as you can. Just be careful if you do this one to come down slowly back onto the mat so you don't injure your head or neck. Good. Now, that might feel like it's a little bit too aggressive, so if it does and you don't want to do that one today, bring your hands down behind you on the mat and then slowly bring your hips level with your knees. You can always make that slightly harder for yourselves by taking one leg out straight for 30 seconds and then the other one. And you can make that harder for yourself as well if you want to by trying to grab hold of the opposite foot. Or if you want to, you can stay flat onto the mat and it works exactly the same. Lift your hips up, push into the mat if you can, so you've still got that engagement in your arms, and you can take one leg off for 30 seconds. And then the other one. When you're ready, 3, 2, 1, off we go. You can always switch between the variations as well, so if you start off with one, you can swap on to another. Good, if you're swapping onto the other side, now's your time. Do that and check the time. 10 seconds. Good, and then slowly bring your foot down. Slowly bring yourselves back onto the mat, and if you're from the floor, I want you to sit yourselves off without using your hands if you can. Remember, you can make that harder for yourself if you want to by taking your feet off the floor as well, like so. Good. And then we're going to come back onto our mats and bring the bottom of our feet together. Good, so bottom of your feet together, hands on ankles, nice and straight through your core. You can either stay like this if that feels like enough of a stretch for you. If you want to, drop your forearms onto your knees and apply a little bit of extra pressure. Or bring your hands onto your ankles, forearms on legs, elbows on knees, and then slowly drop your head down towards or onto your feet. Come on then. That's not bad, considering you haven't done anything. Slowly bringing your head back up and forwards and sit in a position that you find comfortable. So you can take your legs out straight, you can sit with your legs crossed. Now is your opportunity to grab a chair or sit into your armchair if that feels more comfortable. Wherever you feel like you're going to be the most comfortable and supported, and then make sure you're engaged through your core. So nice and straight through your tummy and back, and shoulders back and relaxed. Hopefully that's given enough time for those of you who wanted to grab a chair. And then when you're ready, bring your hands together. Good. Palms facing forward. You can link your hands together if that feels more comfortable. And stretch as much as you can out straight in front of you. And then drop your head down. Stretching through shoulders and upper back. Good, and then when you're ready, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, so stretch as tall as you can. Good, and look up towards the ceiling as well if you can. Excellent, and then slowly bring your hands back down. And then I made them try this in class. I want to see if you can do it. Can you keep your hands together and bring them underneath? Or just unlink your hands and relink them. There, not bad. I was a bit worried your shoulder might dislocate. You know you can speak to them as well, you have a voice. Actually, I prefer this version. So when you're ready, link your hands together behind your back. Love you really. Arms facing away from your body. Keep nice and engaged through your core as you lift your hands as much as you can off your back. Now you can either stay there if you want to, or if you want to extend that stretch, slowly bring your head down and try to bring your hands up as much as you can at the back. And then if your head is down, slowly bring your head back up and forwards. Unlink your hands and give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. Backwards. Good. Forwards. Nice and loose. Good. And then drop your shoulders down and away from your neck. Keep engaged through your core as you gently drop your head down to one side. If you want to at this point, practice those slow breaths if you can, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Good, slowly swapping across the opposite side. Gently back in centre, where you're gently going to drop your head back, but don't collapse into your spine, so stay nice and straight. And then slowly drop your head down all the way through centre, chin onto chest if you can. And then slowly bring your head up and forwards. And then you know what to do. We're going to turn ourselves on our mats and slowly lower ourselves down without hitting your head on anything behind you. If you're on a chair, you can stay in your chair or you can join us on the floor, it's up to you. And then when you're ready, take your hands out straight in front of you, engage your core, slowly sit yourselves off on the floor without using your hands if you can, and then take that momentum forwards to come all the way back up. There was a lot of creaking going on there. On your feet without using your hands if you can. Obviously if you need to use your hands, then do. Come on then, come and say hello. Dylan's been out the door desperate to say hello to you all time. You're so strange, isn't it? So normally we would do a little bit of meditation now, but I don't think that's going to be very practical on the video. So at your own leisure now, depending on how much time you have, feel free, because you should be on YouTube already, to search for Jason Stevenson. Some of the meditations that we've done there's one called Tree of Life, Floating on Water, Secret Garden.
We'll leave a link embedded on this video that will automatically start after this one.
Oh, there you go. My lovely husband, who knows more about technology than I do, has just said that he's going to leave a link embedded in the video or something and it's going to start automatically after this, so feel free to stay where you are or not. You can do the meditations at your own leisure. That was a bit odd, but it's just the way that we're going to have to do things for now. I really do miss you, and I hope that we'll be allowed to come back to face-to-face classes soon. Yeah, hopefully next week it won't feel so strange. Maybe we'll get used to it as the weeks go by. But take care, and hope you ache loads as usual. Otherwise I haven't done a very good job. And see you next week.